I guarantee you. You go back and you read that book, Historias de las Indias by Bartolomé de las Casas. Carefully go through it. Or you know somebody that knows Spanish, you can have them read those portions. I guarantee you, it's no mention in them shit. But the Olmec heads look too fucking black. The Olmec heads, for example.
History's written
those
by
features
the winner,
is too
bro.
fucking.
None of that
they
shit's
too.
real. You know that, right?
I'm not even going to use so many words that the anthropologists be using, Negroid and all that. I'm just gonna say them shits don't look too Saharan.
Well,
I mean, they look too Saharan to be.
Christopher Columbus is writing in his journal exactly what happened.
I mean, why would he lie about how they look?
Why wouldn't he lie?
He ain't call them saints.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying like a lot of history is pretty bullshit.
No, it is.
Columbus sailed the ocean blue in 1492. We fucking don't know.
Alright, look. I give you. Look. Wait. Let me give you one more.
We know. We don't know.
Let me give you one more original thought. Now, this is the Islamic one.
Schools should teach math, science, reading, language arts, and that's it. History should not be a curriculum.
Nah, I think it should be taught because we don't want to be ignorant.
No fucking way.
History is why we living right now.
History written by the winners of wars be a required mandated class for people to learn when it's so often proven wrong and so often changed.
But you forget.
Why can't we have a memorization class? Because that's the only skill it teaches. Why don't we just memorize? Let's just do patterns of colors: red, green, blue, orange. That's gonna be your test. Say it right in the right order. That's fucking history. Congratulations.
When you get to a certain level, it's more than memorizing. It's analyzing. It's thought provoking. Wait. Hey, Drew. One more thing, promise. Entertain me one more second real quick.
I got you.
Alright, I'm finna mention something about Islamic history, which is my original thought as well. Now, as far as like what the Quran teaches about Muhammad, I read this in their surahs. Okay. Jesus was basically not born through an immaculate conception, but it was a guy or a being specifically like created. Yeah, damn near.
I know what you're saying.
Not to disrespect you what they believe. I'm just giving you my thoughts.
That's what the fuck I kind of believe in, man.
Kind of like, dude.
Was she a virgin? That's my biggest
Remember
question.
Joshua in the Bible?
Did she have a fucking...
No penetration. No sexual penetration. Yeah. She did have penetration, but as far as the semen itself, it didn't come through regular, natural human means because this guy was created out of nowhere.
Break her hind leg.
Huh?
It didn't break her hind leg.
No, I'm saying it was a penetration and the fluid entered, but the fluid came about immediately.
No,
the host of the fluid, the
You're
guy himself.
saying that it didn't fuck her. It just put it in there and nutted.
Nah, he had sex with her, but he didn't like come through a natural birth cycle of a woman. He was created specifically in a moment, just like that. And then he came to her and he told her what he was created for. That God created him to have sex with her.
Cool.
And she prayed with God before that, and God told her he was gonna send her a guy for her or whatnot.
Right, I know.
So they talking about
she wasn't a virgin. Is that what you're saying?
Nah, she wasn't a virgin, but that ain't the main point.
That is the main point in my eyes.
That's like a sub point. The main premise is that her shit ain't come through a natural process either, according to the Quran. Because just like that guy Joshua I was trying to mention. Remember, he was on the way to Jerusalem, and then he met some soldier that appeared out of nowhere, some angel or whatnot, who had a sword and all that. The way that this guy...
They told him to go to follow the North Star and you'll find Jesus.
Nah, I'm just saying, like, okay.
The 3 wise men you're talking about.
Nah, that's I'm talking about Joshua. Joshua. He came way before that. The guy that, you remember they left Egypt with Moses, and then Joshua came like a generation after Moses.
Yeah.
But he continued the journey, and picked up the sword, basically, symbolically speaking, and continued to get everybody across the desert to make it to the land of milk and butter. Western Asia and all that. Okay, I'm saying like that guy.
Moses never even got to see it.
Right, he died. But as far as like Joshua doing his journey, because I think they was trying to get across the Jordan River, this angel, the soldier, appeared out of nowhere.
Okay.
And he was supposed to be like a warning of the sort. I'm just saying, like in the Quran, the way that they talk about the guy who had sex with Mary in order to give birth to Jesus,
So you're
he's
saying
almost
Jesus
similar
was
to
an
that angel.
outcome of the, well, they believe Jesus was an outcome of the Jews breaking their what they thought was okay.
No, I'm saying.
In a sense.
No, I'm saying.
In
Okay.
a sense, that happened to the Virgin Mary as a result of the Jews.
No, I'm
taking
talking
over the
about
Holy Land.
like core differences as far as like the conception
I
of
just
Jesus
think they're all fucking
and
idiots.
all that surrounds it, all the circumstances and shit. So I'm saying like I'm saying like okay, basically Jesus did not have a regular human being as a father. That's what I'm saying. Even though like Christians, as far as the overarching point of view, which is that Jesus was born through immaculate conception, I always found that to be odd as far as the Islamic interpretation, because I would think like their stories would be more realistic, you know, in a sense. So as I'm reading the history of Muhammad, and I'm reading the book that I got a great majority of my information from, which is the oldest source, one of the oldest sources on Islamic history, older than the Quran itself. So I'm like, I'm reading what they had to say. I'm going through the stories of his life and then also what happened afterwards. But I also read a lot of Wikipedia information as well and other articles. And I'm like, okay, as far as like in 616, when they had people, you know, escaping from Mecca, leaving Quraysh, the tribe of Quraysh. Some people going north, some people going south, some people going across the Red Sea or whatnot. The king or the Negus, it was a guy named Ashama ibn Abjar. And he became the Negus in like 614. It was two people, a guy named Ja'far, which was Muhammad's cousin, because he was raised with Muhammad along with Abu Talib. So Abu Talib was Ja'far's dad or whatnot. But anyway, him and another guy named Az-Zubair, they escaped and they went to Ethiopia, to the Negus, the kingdom of the Negus. Two other people left the tribe of Quraysh to try to find them and find others, because there was a certain amount of people altogether that left. But anyway, the whole point is, these two delegates that left Mecca and went to speak to the Negus, Ashama ibn Abjar, they was telling him, this is the dialogue supposedly, that these people, Ja'far, for example, believed that Jesus came into being through the Immaculate Conception. Immaculate Conception. So the Negus spoke to them personally about that. And they was like, no, we believe Jesus came. You know, they basically let him know they don't believe in the Immaculate Conception. I'm thinking about the time period, and I'm going along with the Quran. I'm like, that makes fucking sense, especially when you consider Christian history. I'm like, Muhammad had to have believed, at least during his time, when his philosophy became known, he had to believe like some of the ancient Christian writers back in the day.
Jesus is like,
Arius, for example, you know what I mean? You know, they got them little three concepts that describes like the essence of Jesus, basically, whether you think he's born through the Immaculate Conception, whether you think he existed eternally with God or not, or whether you think he became being through a regular, you know, manly human being, womanly process, you know what I'm saying, of intercourse.
did he really come back to
I'm
life?
like Muhammad, based on like the history of him.
Hey, is it documented? I'm gonna go because I'm tired of talking about history.
Oh, it's cool. But anyway, yeah, the whole point is,
But hey,
that's the content I got. Now, I know that content
Did
gonna blow up.
Jesus really come back to life? Did they know about that? Like, was that documented or not? Did that happen? Just yes or no. I don't care about no other facts.
It's not. There's not any real proof.
Okay, then. That's
Tangible
all I care
proof.
about. So fucking, for all we know, Jesus is a lie, and it's all bullshit anyway. I covered with science, bro.